Sheriff, why don't you tell me what happened?
Your patient killed 2 people.
You know, I just want to tell you that I really feel terrible about what happened today.
I know that.
I do want to see you again. Whatever happened between us 6 years ago is water under the dam, over the bridge.
Our formula isn't perfected yet. I mean, we never tested it on a human being before.
What do we got to lose?
Hey everybody, welcome back to Hamburger Theater. Just gonna cut right to the chase and introduce the movie Silent Rage. Silent Rage. Silent Rage. I want to share this with the world. This one comes from 1982. So a dude goes totally crazy, murdering his housemates and or family, only to be interrupted by the wholly annoying long arm of the law. He dies, but that's not the end of the story. A hospital man, a doctor, uses the dead crazy dude to test his male enhancement serum, only to find out that it in fact revives and rejuvenates him, giving back that complexion he thought he lost during his youth. And he somehow has superpowers, like before the serum. I'm not even kidding. This is kind of an odd beast of a movie. Not to say that anything else that I've covered is not, but this one is interesting in that it tries to be good, earnestly. So this is three genres just slammed together, you know. Most times we have 2 genres put together. In a popcorn movie or a hamburger movie, sometimes they would just only really put 2 genres together because adding more than 2 is kind of a risk that quality would have to fill in for them. Silent Rage uses 3 basic genres and tries to make it work in one movie, and I commend them for just trying to do that. They slam together 3 genres. Slasher, action, romance, or drama? I'm not sure. There's a third one in there. Maybe a sign of the times social commentary? If you look really hard. First off is the slasher, following the crazy guy who just starts murdering people and has superpowers somehow, which pretty much all of the famous slashers have. Jason, Freddy, Michael Myers. But be that as it may, there's a level of talent involved now. The sets look real. The effects are decent, and the cinematography is not that bad. Serviceable. Serviceable, not that bad. And the weird thing is that the first character that gets introduced to us is this guy named Kirby. So we see this guy go crazy on screen in the very beginning of the movie. You can't miss it. And he murders everyone, I guess. Spoilers? First 10 minutes. So after we see this crazy guy just murder his entire family or his roommates in his boarding house, wherever he is, he kills everyone who lives there. And then the police arrive on the scene fairly quickly. Not that they wouldn't because everyone got murdered, but pretty fast. Then we get to meet Sheriff Dan. He has a sidekick. I think he's a deputy in training. Anyway, his name is Charlie. Oh, Charlie. Some would say he was a trusty sidekick. I would say he was an interesting sidekick. So Sheriff Dan and Kirby, the killer guy, this is where a protagonist and antagonist would be. The first and third acts of this movie are nicely coherent, but something happened in Act 2. The writing kind of starts wandering around. You notice the acting just kind of falling by the wayside. So it's there in the second act that has forced me to love this imperfect jewel.
Look, there's no way you're going to break my heart again, you understand? So don't even try talking me into going to bed with you again for old time's sake, because you don't have a snowball's chance in hell.
It's a time for love.
Billy, they were the biggest things I ever saw, and they had tattoos on them.
You call the police?
Not me, boss.
You call the police?
No.
You call the police?
Not me, boss.
Bartender, you call the police?
Mm.
Bullshit! Nobody call the police. It must be a mirage.
Round about Act 2, some weird and awesome stuff starts to happen. Now, this is mostly about the characters, especially since the plot is paper thin anyway, and all the weird things they do. Sheriff Dan makes some questionable decisions. When he's not doing his job, he's womanizing, lounging around shirtless and listening to shopping mall music.
Hi. Oh, is this a bad time?
No. Come on in.
Can I turn that off?
Yes, thank you. His priorities seem out of order, but compared to his sidekick Charlie, Sheriff Dan is the most together dude on the block. Charlie is a special guy. Not only has he somehow been employed by his local police force, but he has a lot of catching up to do.
Wow, this is some hospital you got here.
Yes, well, it's not only a hospital, you know, researching molecular medicine such as genetic engineering, things like that.
You mean like you work on monkeys or something like that?
Yes, something like that.
A lot of catching up. His mind seems perpetually boggled, as if he can't quite comprehend what's around the corner. He even reveals to Sheriff Dan that he has some skeletons in the closet. Charlie? No way.
Here's something, Sheriff. I did something real bad that I didn't put on my application to become a deputy, and I just felt guilty about it, and I just wanted to tell you. When I was about 6 years old, my mama bought me this little white dog, and I played with it the first day, and I got it like real dirty. So I was scared, so I wanted to wash it, so I put it in the toilet, and I was, you know, washing it with baby powder and everything, and it got all messed up, and I figured, well, I gotta dry this little pooch off, you know? So I didn't want to put it in the dryer, because, you know, I thought it would get hurt, you know, rolling around in that thing. And so I put it in the deep freeze that my mother had out in the garage. And I went out and played and had a good old time, and I forgot about it. And later on that day, my mama went into the freezer to get a pot roast out. And there was that poor old dog, frozen solid. I guess he was trying to bark or something because, you know, he had his mouth open like...
Well, Charlie, I'm sure that won't go on your record. I'm sure everything will be all right.
God.
Don't worry about it.
I sure am glad. I mean, I just wanted to get it off my chest.
Okay.
Okay, so how did you get into law enforcement? At least you might have brute force on your side to take advantage.
I'm not so sure I'm in the right line of work. You know, I'm not much on violence. I never was. I had plenty of chances, but always ran away.
Oh, well, maybe he's doing a ride-along or something, and they gave him a loaded gun? That's dumb. Come on, Andre. It's not called suspension of disbelief for nothing, but that does explain why Charlie couldn't focus when he and Sheriff Dan tried to clean hooligans out of the local bar. I mean, when Sheriff Dan tried to clean hooligans out of the local bar while Charlie called for reinforcements. But what really ended up happening was Sheriff Dan cleaning out hooligans from the local bar while Charlie talked to his cop friend about the boobs he just saw. Oh, Charlie. Never change.
You did fine yesterday, Charlie. A lot better than I did my first time out.
Really?
Dadgum right.
Okay, Phil, what the hell
Scars
is this?
that would take months to heal. Scars that would be permanently evident. Healed in 18 hours without a trace.
You saw his cellular structure. It's completely deranged. It's regenerating new cells. The lattice is destroyed. It's beyond anything human.
Shit.
You know, those are bullet holes in his chest.
So what? Maybe somebody tried to kill him.
Okay, but why?
Forget about that.
Eventually, the movie realizes it's getting too long to not get back to the story. What with this gang in the town that has nothing to do with a superhuman, self-healing, mostly socially inept serial killer, and a thoroughly filled-out romantic subplot that gives us way more of Sheriff Dan's bare chest than we ever were led to believe. It's almost gratuitous. Since there's really not that much time left in the confines of a 90-minute dinner and a movie feature, we're treated to a good old-fashioned action chase sequence with a fight scene as bright as a maraschino cherry to go with this misshapen sundae consisting only of nuts and whipped cream, where others might get into detail describing the flavor and texture of the sundae, or to zoom out of this metaphor in a poorly written segue. I will not tell you who wins this fight or how they do, because as we pan back towards that metaphor, slow zoom into the sundae, I must remind you that there's really not that much at all in that previously prepared disappointment of a predisposed fake frozen treat. Also, that'd ruin the ending. All in all, this movie's actually not that bad, but because of its troubled middle parts and logical conundrums, not to mention the performances we get from this movie, Silent Rage deserves recognition for what it is: a slasher action romance.
Look, I am sick and tired of hearing about this goddamn sheriff. Sick and tired of hearing about this goddamn sheriff. Sick and tired of hearing about this. 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 Sick and tired of hearing about this god. Sick and tired of hearing about this goddamn sheriff.
Have been listening to Hamburger Theater. This was a production by Andre Couture. All audio from the film is meant to aid in discussion and review of this movie. The film I saw was Silent Rage. Directed by Michael Miller. Written by Joseph Fraley. Released in 1982 by Columbia Pictures. Starring Brian Libby as John Kirby, Ron Silver as Dr. Tom, Stephen Furst as Charlie, and Chuck Norris as Sheriff Dan Stevens. Have a suggestion? Send me an email, hamburgertheater@gmail. That's Hamburger, Theatre. Before I close out the episode for the night, I would like to specially thank Janet Etling for providing this film. When she described it to me, I could not believe my ears, but because she sent it to me, I watched it over and over and over and over, and I kind of liked it. Hungry for more? Look out for Hamburger Theater on the webs real soon. Do you listen to these